All right. So here we are. We're in Santa Fe, New Mexico, visiting family, and it's raining. If you listen. Anyway, last night on TV, Lisa and I watched the latest Mission Impossible movie that we didn't see in the summer. It was a lot of fun. But what really struck me was the theme. It seems that most superhero or comic book movies have the same storyline: to save the world. The theme is repeated again and again in new and different ways. Humanity's existence is threatened either by hideous monsters or a supervillain intent on ending human life. We love superheroes like Wonder Woman and Black Panther because they are selfless and willing to endure any hardship to save us. It's not coincidental that these movies touch millions of people. I believe these films are the externalized fantasy versions of our own deep inner yearnings. Our hopes for the world, that a heroine or a hero will arise to save us from destruction. The late mythologist Joseph Campbell brought all this to light in his classic book, Hero with 1,000 Faces. In fact, George Lucas used Campbell's ideas as the basis for Star Wars. Because our individual consciousness is the consciousness of all humanity, thank you, Krishnamurti, we also struggle heroically against inner tyrants and saboteurs. These psychic elements are personal and not personal at the same time. These elements seek to halt the building of a road to paradise. By paradise, I don't mean the island of Fiji. I mean a future when humanity will no longer live under the burden of selfishness, when peace and unity will be real, not just imagined. So quite ordinary people who strive to allow the second now or the deep present moment into human awareness are also heroes. We are the hidden version of these big screen fantasies. True, maybe we don't get to blow stuff up and drive motorcycles at full speed like the hero of Mission Impossible, as he gives every ounce of his energy to stop the ticking time bomb from going off. No, our lives are much more ordinary. We go to school. We have jobs and relationships. We marry and have children. We commute, go to an office, or we work at home, or we're retired. Yet, we too are heroes when we allow in silence and the enormity of the second now. Then we are like Clark Kent, who strips off his glasses and suit and becomes Superman. But our nobility and greatness are that we do this in humble obscurity. We don't brag or try to call attention to ourselves. This is the true heroism. Notoriety may find us, but that's not our aim. On the wings of silence, we soar upwards into the vast reservoir of goodness and make our deposit. We complete each moment of Mission Impossible, and then we attend to the normal responsibilities of life in the first now. We are just like everyone else, except we have this delicious secret. In fantasy films, monsters and villains are externalized. Now, there are some pretty twisted people in our real world as well. But we work on the inner root of humanity's dilemma by reducing the power of egotism, which by itself is not at all evil. A healthy ego is very much needed for us to function successfully in life. The problem is that in its blind ambition to win, ego can inadvertently usher in some very dark elements. Elements that only seek chaos and destruction. This all goes on in the murkiness and limited awareness of the first now. But we ordinary, unsung heroes do our best to add compassion and peace into the mix. At times, armed only with the sword of silence, we vanquish our own inner troublemakers and stop the time bombs of rage and jealousy from going off. We are never alone. Our separateness from the world is one of the imaginary functions of ego-based life. We are always part of the whole. We are either keeping the status quo or helping to change it. We are not merely stopping the bad guys, but with modesty and patience in the present, we are paving the road for a positive future. The cost to our movie superheroes is physical pain and blood. The cost to help the second now is a moment of ego transformed non-violently into peace and wholeness. It is never easy, but it's not impossible either. A good way to know if we are helping this road to get paved is when our own sense of altruism is stronger than whatever self-importance is happening in a given moment. We don't do this all day. I don't do this all day. But one true blending moment a day is an act of heroic presence. Then we can go about our business with joy because we know in our hearts that we have added something to the common good.